Hello, dear friends. Introduction. Angle feather. Lathyrus Angulatus. Angelic Communication. Angle feather is the name of my new YouTube channel that I have prepared for after the event, and Lathyrus is my spiritual name, while Miskiliosuria was a pseudonym, name or alias used by a journalist in his activities instead of his own. Lathyrus is a generic name derived from Greek that refers to an ancient name for the pea, Lathyrus angulatus or angle feather. In popular culture, peas have been linked with longevity and prosperity. For example, in dream interpretation, crunchy green peas are considered a symbol of a long and prosperous life. Peas allowed Mendel to establish the foundations of modern genetics by observing how certain traits are transmitted from one generation to another. Thus, the symbolism of the pea ranges from meanings related to life and prosperity to its importance in scientific advancement in the field of genetics. The symbol of the feather on the emblem of the professional journalist represents writing and the practice of journalism. The feather is a traditional icon that symbolizes freedom of expression and the ability to inform, fundamental elements in journalistic work. This symbol is associated with the idea that journalists should be the bearers of truth and information, using the feather as a tool to capture their stories and analysis. In broader contexts, the feather can also symbolize the union between intellectual work and social commitment, reflecting the responsibility of journalists to inform and educate the public on relevant issues. The symbolism of the angle feather is related to the communicating presence of angels on Earth. Angle feathers are considered a symbolic representation of the connection between the spiritual world and the material world, acting as a means of communication between angels and human beings. Feathers found in unexpected place have a spiritual meaning. From this perspective, they are a sign that angels are in your life. The energy of these divine beings is so pure and fine that we could not easily perceive it. For this reason, they use subtle messages to let us know of their presence. Angelic communication refers to the belief or spiritual practice in which one seeks to establish contact or receive messages from angels, beings considered as divine messengers in various spiritual traditions. This communication can take different forms depending on the individual beliefs and spiritual practices of the people involved. Communication with angels can be achieved through practices such as meditation, inner listening, observing visual cues, conscious invocation, and following intuition and inner feelings. Angels can communicate through an inner voice that may have a tone similar to one's own. Angels can also communicate through inner thoughts or feelings. Being receptive to these intuitions can help interpret angelic messages. In various spiritual traditions, feathers have been associated with the symbolic representation of angels, being interpreted as signs of divine communication. In addition, the color combination of angle feathers is associated with different virtues and the functions of the course of angles, allowing the discovered feather to be linked to specific aspects such as love, divine will, serenity, protection, among others. Angle feathers are considered a symbolic representation of the connection between the spiritual world and the material world, acting as a channel of divine communication. Finding an angle feather is believed to be a sign that an angel is sending a message of encouragement, guidance, or protection at that specific time. In addition, the color of the feather can have specific meanings, such as divine purity in the case of white feathers, or energetic protection in the case of black feathers. The expression angel feather can be used metaphorically to describe writing or prose that is particularly light, ethereal, or possesses a heavenly beauty. For example, one could say that a poem is written with angel feather to highlight its grace and delicacy. This image is commonly associated with the lightness, softness, and delicacy of feathers, as well as the purity and celestial nature attributed to angels in various spiritual traditions. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.